conversations around infrastructure in many of the schools, especially tertiary institutions. We have seen that classrooms have become a problem. We don't have enough of them. Some people have even questioned what school management and school boards do with the funds that they generate, because for many, we cannot see physically where these monies are being put into. Well, this morning today, we'll be having this conversation, and my guest was a former SUG president for the University of Port Harcourt and currently is the vice president, Citizens Quest for Truth Initiative, Chuku Endwell. Sir, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Andrew. It's a pleasure being here.
All right, fantastic. There's quite a lot to unravel in the course of this conversation. If you don't mind getting closer to your microphone. So, yeah, great to have you in our studios again. I'll start like this. Many people have always felt like students don't have a role to play. Now, I remember when the ASU strike stayed for as long as it did under the past administration. Then eventually the court became the tool that was then used to force the lecturers back to the classroom. At that time, there were conversations around students have a voice to also make sure that the right things are done. Fast forward from that time till now, it seems as though the right things have still not been done. In fact, in some schools, there's still the problem where students can't write exams because of school fees. I mean, the UST is a typical example most recently. And I know that in UNIPORT, I don't know if they've adjusted that, but that was something that was also being looked at in UNIPORT at the time. We've seen the loss of lives in schools. Yeah. And then UNIPORT has also suffered that amongst other schools that have suffered that as well in the state. So there's issue with the insecurity. In fact, recently we saw what happened in UST with the attack of robbery and theft in the hostels. And then we found out how dilapidated some of the hostels are. And then you're asking questions around monies that have been generated. How come these things were not things that were looked at or put in the plan, administration after administration? So my first question is, the student unions, what exactly are they supposed to be doing? Do they have any responsibility in ensuring that infrastructure is provided and these funds that are generated and are given to the schools as well are well utilized?
Okay, thank you very much, Andrew, for having me. It's really a pleasure being here. You know, the problem...
You might have to
set
up closer to your mic.
Over time
yes.
is lack of information. Lack of information. All through last week, I noticed that in the media, UNIPORT has been in the media for maybe some persons who are not properly informed about the happenings of things. But let me first of all answer your question. The role of student union organizations, especially the student union government in universities, is to ensure the welfare of students. And take it to the bank. The students make over 70% of the population of the university, both part-time, regular, sandwich, or what have you. But what you must understand is that the student leaders most times have often interaction, especially when you have a good management system. They have often interactions with the management. When I was the SUG president, I was a member of what we call Budget Monitoring Committee. That is when you now realize that, especially for a federal university like UNIPORT, there is no fund allocated by federal government to the university to run the university.
So everything is totally what the school generates?
What the school generates from the fees they collect. And those fees, if you go through the breakdown of those fees, you see that each of those fees is tied to a particular thing. So most times, the vice chancellors struggle. That's why I have to give it to the current vice chancellor of UNIPORT, Professor Owunari George Will. The man has done a very good job in University of Port Harcourt, because if you go to UNIPORT now, you will see a lot of changes. If you go to, I can't talk for UST because I'm not a stakeholder there, but in UNIPORT, I am a stakeholder. I used to be a student union president there. When you get to UNIPORT, you will see a lot of things like that the vice chancellor have been able to put in place. Like in recent time, I noticed that over 2,500 students are under scholarship through his friends. The vice chancellor made sure that some of his friends, instead of coming to come and take awards and stuff like that, he said these students actually need help. In recent time, I've noticed that no UNIPORT student have been sent home over non-payment of fees. So I gave it to him.
Are you sure about this one?
Yes.
Because if the phone line comes on, we might get a different.
Yes, it's verifiable. You can go to before I verify.
It's difficult to verify. That's what I'm saying. Because we have a lot of students in UNIPORT. I finished from UNIPORT as well.
Yes, you can ask any UNIPORT student as we speak. No UNIPORT student has been sent home. Most times when the school fees time elapses, he extends so that the students they will extend till exams finish.
But the fact that you mentioned that monies aren't earmarked for universities, they have to run these schools based on what they generate, which is the new template.
Yes.
It wasn't the template from time.
It has been like that. Most times, most of the monies that are used to run the universities are from TED fund.
That's what I was going to go, because I know that TED fund.
Yes, if you have a challenge, like recently, just last week, UNIPORT got an approval through the efforts of the Vice Chancellor to renovate hostels from TED fund, and that application had been done over some time.
This is where my question was coming. That's why I was trying to build up to it before you just mentioned the TED fund. I took it out of my mouth. Yes. If you go to some of the institutions, what you find is TED fund is, this classroom built by TED fund, this classroom built by TED fund, that block built by TED fund. I can, from the top of my head now, mention a few from when I was in UNIPORT that we know that the ECF, ETF, some of those were all TED fund.
Yes.
So the question then is, what does the school do with the monies that it generates beyond workers and power supply, because I'm pretty sure diesel and all of those, what does it do with all the monies? And you talked about the board that was set up that you were a part of that also monitors the budget implementation. Does that still exist?
Yes.
Do students, SUG presidents still part of that board? And if so, can we have an idea of what these monies are used for?
Okay, now let me also tell you, when we talk about also management of some of these funds, it's also poor administration. There are some vice chancellors that maybe when these monies are, they begin to allow bureaucracy and red tapeism to begin to delay how these funds are managed. A case study of UNIPORT, like I will always say, because that is where I will easily want to make sure that the welfare of students, I'm still a comrade, so the welfare of students is still in my head. Most times I will call the student union president, what's going on? If you go to UNIPORT, if you go to the hostels, you will see that just recently, the Vice Chancellor went around and made sure that all the GP tanks that were supposed to supply water should be changed. He went around and made sure that the foams that students use are supposed to be changed.
Has anything been done to Mandela Hostel to improve the state? Because the room size, the beds, the Mandela Hostel, the restrooms, I'm speaking from what I used to know and what I knew as at 2-3 years back. It was still not a sight to behold.
Yes, Nelson Mandela Hostel
and monies have been generated over time. So
Nelson Mandela Hostel is a very big hostel for you who have attended UNIPORT, and it is part of the hostels that money will soon be released to UNIPORT for maintenance.
So how come these monies have not been coming since? That's the worry. How come there were times that there is no water to even, you can't have your bath because no water, and so how come we have the management of these schools? The basic things you think first that would be looked at, it should be smooth running of these things. So how come we don't have them as smooth as they should be?
It's because most times the management or the vice chancellor is not a proactive person.
And what role would student leadership do then in such situations to make sure that
that's where you now see most times if the student leadership are trying to maybe romance with the university management and it gets out of hand, you see students going for protest. But in recent time, you can hardly find UNIPORT students protesting because the vice chancellor, you will even see him stay awake. Once as I'm talking to you, few weeks ago, University of Lagos didn't have power for over 2 weeks. But in UNIPORT, we have not had power failure since this vice chancellor assumed office. In UNIPORT, in the moment there's a little blink, the vice chancellor made sure that even the classrooms are powered whenever the power generating plant or the PhD light goes off. He makes sure that the classroom, so that to enable students to read, because night classes are also another part of the university experience. A lot of persons prefer going to night classes. For security reasons, the Vice Chancellor made sure that all those classes are powered with an alternative source.
So are you, in other words, saying that most of the times some of the SUG leaders are political? Or they've been the rumors from while even we were in school.
Most times when you don't like
some of these VCs are interested in who becomes SUG president because they know that they need to have these individuals on the same alignment with them to be able to manage the students.
That's why I tell you that most times you don't have a proactive vice chancellor. In University of Port Harcourt, when there were some of those loopholes, what you see is that the moment students revolt against some such actions, you will see maybe an interim government. But for the past 4 years, University of Port Harcourt have not had that, because what the Vice Chancellor does now is he will sit down at the election venue and said, every student should vote their interest. Those are the reasons why most times I try to advise the neighboring universities to borrow a leaf from what is happening in the UNIPORT now. Because the improvement in UNIPORT is something. So we give credit to the Vice Chancellor. I want to encourage him to make sure that he continues. I don't know who would come in next, but if that person continues like this, I believe that UNIPORT will be one of the schools to reckon with. As we speak, UNIPORT is making so much this thing. The Vice Chancellor came in with over 300 court cases. There were situations where people lost their certificate, university withdrew their certificates, some persons were sacked. The Vice Chancellor came in, resolved over 300 court cases outside the court. A lot of things. If you go to UNIPORT, so when somebody came up with one story that the swimming pool was that.
I was going to come to that because the Olympic-sized swimming pool that I know,
yes,
it was a sight to behold. We loved it. It was a pride for us as UNIPORT students when we talked to people from other schools, because, I mean, we were, if not the only at the time that had that standard Olympic-size swimming pool. And the last time I saw a video of it, it was it was nothing. And I began to wonder what would have happened to that infrastructure.
There was an issue surrounding the swimming pool. A student who is not from UNIPORT died, and there's some investigation. But people are not looking away from the improvement in research that the University of Port Harcourt.
The lecturers get funds to do those researches.
Yes. Now, we have what is called Center for Travel and Exchange in University of Port Harcourt. It wasn't that active before. But now, as I speak to you, the Vice Chancellor the University of Port Harcourt have partnership with one university in Germany. They also have partnership with the Chinese government now, where University of Port Harcourt, some persons have gone to China to study Chinese language and stuff like that.
So are we saying that now lecturers can get grant for research? Because it was a thing. Lecturers even complain. Yes, research is one of the things that they should do, but these lecturers, without access to funds, how can you do these researches? How can you
watch with the social media? You will see that a lot of lecturers are making use of that, especially because most of these grants are from TED Fund. It's not from university.
That is still back to the question. If they are mostly from TED Fund, how much fund does the school impute back into the system from what it generates? That's a big question. Because if most of it's from TED Fund, it simply means that then we have to question the one that the school is generating and how is it using it and what is it using it for?
Now, only paying off, you know what it means to pay for a power now in this country, to pay for power on monthly basis in the university. That a lot takes a lump sum. Then the exams, running of exams are from those ones. Those ones are not from TED Fund. Those are what the university use.
So in other words, you're suggesting that just running of exams and power is gulping all of the money.
It's not just
and then workers' salary is gulping all of the money.
Yes. The only thing federal government does for the university is just to pay salaries.
So the salaries is not even part of.
For TED Fund, you can apply for funds now, and other universities in the country will apply. And if not for this 2025 budget, that education had a little bit improvement. Before you know, TED Fund will even tell you that there's no enough fund. So federal universities struggle.
So if there's anything we can take out of this is to say that the money is generated from school, by these schools, from school fees and other dues and fees that are paid. We cannot give accurate account of what they do. it only goes into managing because they're not paying salaries.
Yes, it's not even enough.
And then some of the infrastructure, if not most of the infrastructure, is sponsored by funds from TED Fund. So
Yes.
it still brings us back to this question. I'm sure a lot of people would want to know. I hope, or I wish that when we open the phone lines, we can get a lecturer or two that would give us insight. Because now you're talking about funds for research. I would assume that those funds are funds that came out from the school's coffers and provided for, so these lecturers can access and do researches if they want to. That's what I'm assuming. I don't know if that's correct. In your time as SUG president, was there a breakdown when you sat in that budget committee? Was there a breakdown to see how much is generated in total and how it's spent?
Yes. There are documents. That's why.
So give us an idea from your time. How much can you recall to say this was how much that was generated in a certain month?
In a month?
Yes.
You know, most of these things are from fee drive. School fees is not generated in a month. It's most times it's over the semester.
Okay, so what's the budget cost like? Give us an idea.
I'm not in.
From your time,
okay,
I'm saying.
From my time, I would say by then most times it's maybe close to 1 billion naira for the whole academic session.
For the academic calendar.
Yes. So at the end of the day, you now find out that students don't actually pay fees. So that's where you now see that the university is even running deficit. But I'm speaking to you now, if not for the magnanimity of the president to introduce, a lot of students are not paying fees. But when you don't get those facts, you think that the university has so much money.
So in other words, the reason why schools are heavy on no exam, no fees is just because that's where they get their major income from.
They need to get money to run the university. When somebody said the University of Lagos was almost shut down, there was no power, I laughed. I said, running these universities are not that easy. It's not tea party as people see it. So we have to give kudos. We came back and we said, the Vice Chancellor of UNIPORT, it means that he's doing something extraordinary. As we speak now, UNIPORT is among the best rated universities in Nigeria. It's among the first 20 in Nigeria. It has been between first and 20 for the past 4 years. It has not gone. UNIPORT is the only university in Rivers State that has been in that, despite poor funding.
We'll take a commercial. When we come back, we'll go back to more infrastructure. I mean, getting messages about hostels. We'll look into all of those and perhaps hear what the situation is in other institutions in the state. Good morning.
Enjoyment for the people.
Nigeria Info.
All right, good morning. My name is Ifeimi Andrew. Conversation continues. Chuku Endwell, Vice President, Citizens Quest for Truth Initiative, and former SUG President, University of Port Harcourt, is with us in the studio. And state of infrastructure in the education sector, especially tertiary institutions in Rivers State, has been the focus. And this has followed some of the issues that we've heard in recent times, not just in University of Port Harcourt, but also in UST. Captain Lechi Amadi Polytechnic is another one where there's been a lot of talks about the state of infrastructure there and the welfare of students. But then the welfare of workers is a general theme. We've talked about hostel conditions across the institutions. I would open the phone lines. I'm sure there are many of us that have things to say with regards to what it is like in your institution with regards to the infrastructure condition of the hostel, welfare of the students, welfare of the workers, especially non-academic staff. The non-academic staff, for me, I believe, are like the engine room of every institution. They are the ones that, if they are not there, Professor, you cannot want to go and use your restroom sometimes. You will not want to enter that place. But then how they are dealt with and how they are looked at, they are the ones in the offices making sure that everybody's clean and some of these things that you come to do, you do them smoothly. But then I don't feel like they get the regard that they deserve, honestly. I just want to, if you want to be really honest, you would agree. Well, we'll take some calls now, and then we'll take some of your messages as well. Hopefully my guest would respond to as much as he can. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0002. What role can students play in tertiary institutions to ensure better infrastructure and improved welfare for workers?
Okay. I think that the students, first of all, need to be informed, because when we were in school, we used to say, if you are not informed, you cannot perform. And if you cannot perform, you always behave like a deformed person. A lot of students don't often know their rights. I can tell you for free that a lot of persons have graduated and did not even read statement of academic policy. So even as a student, you don't even know your rights. A lot of students can't even calculate their CGPA. So they don't even know how to calculate CGPAs, because when the university is trying to, from the 100 level, do orientation programs, a lot of them will not attend. They will want to always believe on hearsay. University is a very organized system. From the management level to departments and faculties, there are handbooks that you need to read to understand your rights and privileges in the university. As it is, a lot of students in UNIPORT don't even know that there's what is called bandwidth, where you are eligible to go to ICT, get a PIN to access internet facility around the ICT. But when they will tell you that we're paying fees, we don't know what it's used for. A lot of students don't even know that as a student, there are some penalties if you engage in examination malpractice. There are penalties if you engage in cult activities. They just believe that because somebody is doing it and going scot-free in secret, they can actually do it. It's part of the university life. So for you to now begin to now ask for your rights, you must understand where you have rights and privileges in the university setting.
All right. Okay, so students first need to know their rights.
Yes.
That's where we start from. Emeka in Elele, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Emeka. Go on.
I'm calling from Endwell.
All right.
So, my dear brother, about student unionism. The student unionism has failed. They are not doing well again. When we are in school, they say injury to one is injury to all. But those young men they are after money, looking for money, how to live large. They cannot fight for their students. They cannot defend their fellow students' rights. Their interests, they will not collaborate with the medical management to be unseating their fellow students. About development in various schools, please, in legitimate polytechnics, they needed infrastructure. They are lacking hostel. There's no hostel at all. There's not enough classroom. Tell sponsor, please. state government should please, Federal Ministry of Education, there should be an intervention fund to that school. There's no way that school is a new school, is a polytechnic that is developing, they are recording new students every day. No enough classroom, no hostel. They are lacking hostel. The federal government should look into it, and state government, especially test form. Every time releasing money to UNIPORT, they are not using the money for anything, especially UNIPORT that you are seeing every day, different group is donating money in UNIPORT. But no way, they should scan those money to Amadi Polytechnic to develop that Polytechnic. Thank you and God bless you.
All right, Justice in Port Harcourt, good morning.
My friend Andrew, good morning.
Good morning, Justice.
My name is Justice Ori. President Mekasa.
Good morning, Justice.
Andrew, I can confirm to you, I have personally been to UNIPORT. I have interacted with staff and students. I can confirm what your guest is saying, that the Vice Chancellor, Professor Unari George, is up and doing, is proactive, and is utilizing every opportunity to make sure University of Port Harcourt goes global. I must commend the VC for his efforts. He has gradually changed the narrative in University of Port Harcourt. Everything is going well. I must commend the VC. Every fund donated to University of Port Harcourt is judicially used. I can confirm that. Andrew, let me bring your attention to Ignatius Ajuru University of Education. Andrew, the media need to help us. The students of the Ignatius Ajuru are complaining that institution has become school for the rich. The tuition fee is very expensive, and the management is not doing anything about it. Andrew, in the campus of Ignatius Ajuru is deserted. It's like forest. The VC is from Emoha local government, and in the campus is in Emoha local government. Why can't our brother bring out this institution for us, so that us, Emoha people, can be proud of what our brother have done for us? Please, Professor Chuku, come back, be proactive, and make this university to be good one.
Okay, Justice.
Thank you so much, Andrew.
Leighton Barry from Bori, good morning.
Good morning, Andrew.
All right, good morning. Leighton Barry, you're not loud enough.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. You are not loud enough.
Yeah, good morning to your guest.
Good morning, Leighton Barry.
Yeah, let me look at the issue of, I wanted to talk about the text fund. But first, I must commend the Port Harcourt University in terms of rating. I think the university has done gallantly well, and by the activities of the university and the management of the university, I think they've done well in putting the university to the level, the standard it is in Nigeria. But my concern is the tech fund having a lot to do in the school, more than even the school management, indulging themselves in projects and all that, taking care of the school. And tech fund is the one doing most. My concern.
Hello, Leighton Barry.
You will see in the school is tech fund. And I ask myself, what is the school management doing with the fund?
All right. Good question, Leighton Barry. Unfortunately, I think the network isn't really friendly. Sorry, Leighton Barry. I think your service providers got the better of you. Bright from Rumodumaya, good morning.
Good morning, CME, and good morning to your guest.
Okay.
Good morning.
My question is that I know that even while we are in UNIPORT those days, just as some 2 classrooms you mentioned, 2 big halls, PTTF, and so you want closer to it also. We agreed that
ETF.
Tech fund. And I also know that individuals have been donating money, erecting also buildings that also is after them, that bear their name. Now, each of the faculty, students pay different school fees from another faculty. And when you compare all these fees, it generates millions and other things, the departmental, other dues that cannot even be recorded on. Now, you cannot tell me that university is only using it to maybe run some services, just like electricity and so on. While federal government is also voting him some huge amount of funds through that fund. At the end of the day, the university will go for strike. Students will not learn. And your guests have also mentioned that the VC has also been given a scholarship. How many times have the VC made it known and for students to testify that so and so persons or university gave us scholarship for we to continue our education? Is it by just saying it, or is it an in-house something? So these are the questions I want your guests to answer.
All right, they're taking he's taking note of them. We'll respond shortly. Let's speak to this anonymous caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Endwell.
Good morning to you.
And Mr. Chuku as well.
Good morning.
Yes, remaining anonymous, I want to disagree with your guests.
Right,
in
go on.
many ways. As it stands now, students are still experiencing standing ovation during lectures in the university. In fact, the other day, I have to take somebody to one of the JS classes. I was even afraid. If you need to sit crowd, there is nowhere to sit. Standing everywhere. Some people are outside. That's what is happening. They say they are having classes and the place is filled up. So I don't know the UNIPORT you are talking about. Is this the UNIPORT that you are passing the road to UPT? Everywhere is littered.
Do people still sit at the old convocation arena for lecture?
Yes. People, students are still using it for lectures. Just go close to ICTC. You see the place littered with waste everywhere, smelling. Is it the UNIPORT he's talking about? Is it the UNIPORT that I remember one of the while this conversation was going on, I was discussing with one of the nursing students that the entire nursing class department has only 2 functional classrooms. Is it the UNIPORT you are talking about? Is it the UNIPORT you are talking about that every road just go? This is
potholes.
Investigative journalism. You school the UNIPORT.
So potholes in some of the many of the roads.
All the roads are you just go and see by yourself. So I don't know the UNIPORT. Sometimes we take politics too far. You understand? I don't think UNIPORT, but the way he's describing it is like that. The school is going down. It's going down. Is it the same UNIPORT that people are claiming that they are doing 1 or 2 things during PME and other things? So you shouldn't come here and be talking politics. I don't like it.
All right.
UNIPORT is not improving in any way.
Okay, thank you very
much. Mandela is smelling. Just go there. That Mandela was said, just pass there. See how everywhere smell as if that place is toilet. And he's telling us UNIPORT did this and did that. It's very wrong, please.
All right. Israel from LMA, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my brother.
You're welcome.
I was just a brief comment about the Rivers State University. The ICT, they overcharge. The S of charging is too expensive. You want to register a child or any other thing, the SS charges is too much. So those should be corrected. The VC and the rest of the governing body should look into the ICT and see what is happening there. So thank you, I'm Israel from Medellin.
Clinton from Bori, good morning.
My brother, Andrew Femi.
Yep, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Clinton.
You asked a question, the role of student union in tertiary institutions.
For welfare.
There is no student union government in Nigerian universities, I can tell you for free.
Okay.
They are all affiliates of the school administration. Because if there was truly a student union government, what they do is to agitate to ask things from the VC or the administration of the school, demands of the students. But they don't do that. If you go to the University of Port Harcourt, that's where I schooled. First degree, second degree. That school is getting enormous resources internally, generated internally, also getting from the federal government. But the infrastructure there is decaying. If you go to our laboratories, very poor. To the extent that if you want to carry out the research, you even buy your own chemical to do your research in the school. So I think that we should not just be saying these things. Every time federal government, what is the school doing? The accommodation, the schools, the things, they are so bad. They have made so many students that they cannot accommodate. So I think that we must not be saying this thing every time we blame the federal government on how schools are run. But you blame the VC, blame the school administration. They are also part of the problem. Even the student union government, the SC president, we don't have any again.
All right, Clinton. Magnus from our 3. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Andrew.
Hello, Magnus. Hello, Magnus.
Yes, good morning. Yes,
good morning. Good morning. Yes, go on, please.
I want to quickly, your guest should respond to the allegation of corruption within the student union in the universities, where you have a departmental head reporting to HOD, and where the HOD is also reporting to his superior, and a certain quota of money is being required from the departmental head to wrap from the student, for the student to remit it to the HOD, for the HOD to remit it to whoever I want to remit it to. It's very serious.
Ignatius, Magnus, rather, if you can get back to us, please do. Whether you send a message on WhatsApp 0809 0306416. We take one more call. We need to wrap things up quickly. Amadi is in Port Harcourt. Good morning, Amadi.
Good morning, Mr. Andrew.
Good morning to you.
And Endwell as well.
Good morning.
We are talking to the two last callers. Is this the UNIPORT in London or the UNIPORT in Chuba? So that I will know how to ask my question.
The UNIPORT in Chuba.
So then, if that is the case, then the person there is just there to hype UNIPORT. Because I don't think the UNIPORT that the students be doing practical, who are to be conducting practical, because they are not able to carry out practicals, go to physics lab, chemistry lab. Is it the UNIPORT is describing? I don't just understand people with politics. It's unfortunate. Andrew, there is nothing to write home about UNIPORT. UNIPORT is declining in time of development. I don't think there is any progress in that school. You can go and sit by yourself. So you should just stop doing those politics there.
All right, Amadi, thank you. A few messages on WhatsApp. I think it's an opportunity for students of various science institutions of the state to share what they are going through on a daily basis in terms of poor infrastructure. I'm a graduate of River State University. Students' glory. Potholes on the roads, bad hostels, students hustling for classrooms. UNIPORT has declined. It's quite unfortunate. Do people still hustle for hostel space? I mentioned the Mandela thing. I'm glad some of the people also called, because at the time I was there. And the last time I went in the portal situation, yes, from the entrance from Choba Gate, it's not nice, portals. Even if you enter from the main gate, you meet portals on the road. And that's something that was highlighted. When I was in school, I remember we had a borrowed course. It was a computer course. I can't remember the course code now. We had only one laptop that was in front. We had like hundreds of us in the class. And there was one laptop that they had to teach binary, whatever. I honestly, because I can't even see what you're teaching.
Yeah.
And so, okay, they've highlighted all of these things. The situation with the labs. There are people that do computer engineering and finish school. I've not seen a computer or can't even operate a computer. Meanwhile, we should have a standard computer lab. And classroom space. People still sit at the convocation arena for classes. This was something that I experienced over a decade ago. And we still have that going on. So how exactly would you explain this to? Okay,
I listened to all the calls and I'm going to take them randomly because there's no time to.
Yeah, just randomly under 3 minutes.
First of all, there's something that some of the callers who are saying I'm being political. I don't speak for University of Port Harcourt. I am not the public relation officer for University of Port Harcourt. I only speak on the changes I have seen. The Vice Chancellor just have a tenure of 5 years where he will come and do his own bit and go. And for some of us who are regular visitors, maybe because we have businesses, we have wards there, we monitor to see what's going on. For the man who said classes are still ongoing in Convocation Arena, I don't think I have seen. I've been visiting University of Port Harcourt.
People don't sit at the old Convocation Arena anymore for classes.
The old Convocation Arena is no longer used for classes. I was a victim of that.
I sat there.
Yes.
It even made me skip some classes.
Yes, I graduated
from
the Department of Linguistics and Communication Studies.
Now I get the place.
So we're using it. But even the moment this Vice Chancellor came, he made sure that Faculty of Humanities had a building that was ongoing by the former Minister for Transport, Right Honorable Tibi Amechi, helped to build it. So the Vice Chancellor said, what was the reason why these students are always using it? They said there were no classes. He now said, okay, university would try, because it's not in the place of university to use money meant for management of all that things. And before I conclude on that, the money generated for fees are not only used for exams. There are little contracts, maintenance contracts that are given out to companies through bidding the university service with those money, which is not enough. Now, I can tell you that when I confronted one of the management staff and asked them why it's like this, they said, even in 2021, when the vice chancellor came in, most of the management staff didn't have a car. The VC had to reach out to his friends. It was his friends that even had to help to buy cars for. That's how bad it was for the university. But most times people just think that from what they hear, somebody can come and donate 500 million. You are not going to go to his pocket to pick it. So people don't even know whether those monies that are donated are actually
come.
given.
Unfortunately, time will not allow us to take any more, Mr. Endwell. Thank you very much. I wish we could take more calls because I'm sure a lot of people are itching to say a lot, but now we have to go for a commercial. Okay. Good morning.
Studying